2 p.m. United Kingdom time. 9 a.m. Eastern time, just waking up to a bagel and a coffee over there on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? California Pacific time, still up. Yeah, bro, just grinding some 10 and L ACR. Yeah, what's up, man? Been on TED all night, man. Been on TED all night. Yeah, bro, I just gotta get these 12 buy-ins back, bro. Seriously, man. I'm so tilted right now. Or waking up in Europe because you're lazy. 2 p.m. in the Netherlands, 3 p.m. in the Netherlands. Like, oh, get myself some coffee, bro. Some banana pancakes and some coffee. You know, waking up in the Netherlands, eating the pancakes, drinking the coffee at 3 p.m. Slobs. All y'all slobs. I've been at it since 6. 5:30, actually, to be precise. 5:30. And I've been building PowerPoints for the new course, whose initials are MM. T-shirts arrived the other day, by the way. They're pretty sick. And the new course is kind of doing the thing that all of my major projects do. All the major projects, like my life and my wife and my son, I'm just kidding, those are fine. They don't stress me out at all. But building this course does, because imagine spending like 5.5 hours today on facing B33 turn probes, guys. All on facing B33 turn probes. It's the wrong scene. You guys are all asleep. Or you're grinding away in California trying to get your buy-ins back. Like, stop doing that, man. Stop. It doesn't matter how much you're down in one day. It's all one great big session. God. People in Pacific time still trying to get their buy-ins back. And, like, yeah, I used to like facing B33 turn pro, but now I think I hate it. I think it sucked the soul right out of me. Because the PowerPoint, man, like, it's going to look so good, and it's going to be such a great course, and it's going to be this huge, enormous, conclusive, concrete, comprehensive, beasting thing. But it's really, really annoying to make at times, because you get into a flow of discovery, and you're like, oh, yeah, this, and this. And you have to, like, take a break to, like, drag a text box here and, like, place that thing there and, like, copy and paste. Do you know how many times I've had to make the cards a height of 2.69 centimeters? Do you know how many times I've had to do that? Because I'm not very good at technology, and I don't just have, like, a tech guy beside me just doing it all for me, you know? Anyway, guys are watching this, like, 2 days later, like, what's this guy doing? I want to see some cards. Like, I only switched on to watch cards. This guy's talking. Man, I hate this guy, bro. Like, that's what you're all saying, and, like, fair enough. Okay, whatever. Let's go to the scene that has the cards on it. And let's get into some spots, and let's see what comes up, and let's chat to you on Twitch, on YouTube. We'll see what you're saying for yourselves today. I don't have a whole lot of energy remaining after today. It's been a long one, but I'll do my best. We'll see how well we can play. Right, I'm not going to use my normal toolkit against this player. I am instead going to play the one big blind strat with a 7. My normal toolkit against a non-ridiculous opponent is to play, of course, B200 or check. But we're not going to do that. Pat Leaf, welcome. Recently grabbed cash injection. Great choice. Very affordable, economical. Good bang for your buck. Exploited, of course, to get your win rate ascending to the skies as quickly as possible. I hate the spot because, you know what? He snap bets the sizing. Is there enough King Jack, Jack 10, Jack 8, 10 8, random thing? Probably. Gonna lose to merges a lot, though. King 9 isn't really that much of a merge, like, you can do that, but 25% required. I think when you one big blind to flop there, you have to call the river. It's clips. Scottish git. Touched a nerve there with the Dutch guy, didn't I? God. It's furious that he's just woken up. Still not had his clips. It's raging. Fresh bagel and coffee was my East Coast breakfast this morning. Don't knock it till you try it. I would never knock it. I think it's a great breakfast. You know, you can say that things are typical of a place without mocking that place. Like, where's the assumption that because they have clips in the Netherlands or that they have bagels in New York that there's somehow some sort of ridicule there? No, it's just is what it is, you know? It's just the thing of that place. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Are they true uniformly? No, but no one really thinks that they are, right? Apart from like certain individuals, but yeah. You know if Cruiser will make more videos, Pete? The thing is, we kind of suspended adding any new videos to the subscription service. We found it to not be a particularly viable business model. Subscriptions to sites like Carrot Corner aren't really the way to go. Like, we're a premium course business first and foremost. We've gone back to our roots. That's what we're doing these days. Cruiser did make some phenomenal content though on the subscription service, which is still there and you can still subscribe, you can still access it. He is focusing heavily on grinding this year. I spoke to him in March, I think, April, and I was like, "What's up, Cruiser?" And he was like, "What's up, Pete?" And I was like, "What you up to, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, you know, not much, just grinding out some pokers." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You interested in doing a little bit of content for Carrot Court, a little bit of content, maybe?" And he was like, nah, bro. Focusing on grinding, bro. I told you, bro. I'm focusing on grinding." I was like, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I was like, "Listen, man, I didn't mean any offense." He was like, "Hey, you fucking better not have Carrot, man." I was like, "Look, okay, I'll just leave you be. Obviously, you're having a bad day." He's like, "I'm not having a bad day." So yeah, I spoke to him in April, and that's kind of how it went. That's how it went. So we're doing one table today because we're tired, and we're just going to see what spots come up and what we can do. King Queen at this stack depth, I think call. Yeah, I think call outperforms 3-bet with its hand in these positions. I think the fold equity is a little bit rubbish. Gonna use overbet here. Expect it to be phenomenally successful. I expect it to be successful beyond measurable methods. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that can measure how successful that will be, so it'll be that successful. That's what I'm trying to say. Because when they snap check a flop multi-way, they don't really understand that they're telling you that they are defending to a turnover bet. Probably never. And then there's another player that also had a chance, a free betting opportunity on flop, right? So it's just like a stupid spot where, like, if you're paying attention, the fold equity is like so high. And honestly, it makes sense to just lead with like king jack plus for value in that spot, in theory. In practice, I would start leading fives for like a B33 after that flop timing, honestly. I think it's okay. You could start doing that. Just get like the uber protection. Going to pure call this combo, this is definitely a very underfolded spot. It can be jammed on. It's such a lucrative spot to see the flop against a recreational, right? That when you 3-bet and introduce a branch where you don't see the flop and you don't reap enough fold equity through the 3-bet, it just becomes pretty bad. Villain checks back here. Honestly, I'm not like super optimistic on this card about my fold equity. There's some from like King Queen, etc. I'm gonna just bet once here, probably, and give up. I think, like, mostly villain just has kings, queens, jacks on this line, but they will have some king 10, queen jack, king, queen, king, jack that they'll just fold on the turn. If they call turn, this is an interesting river, actually. Very interesting. Yes, all in. All in's reasonable here, actually. 2x pot or something's reasonable here, actually. Yeah, okay. Convince me. They convinced me to 3x pot. 2 point something x pot, actually. So villain basically just has kings, queens, jacks, tens, and we won't actually win ever if we check. So, like, the fact that we rivered a pair doesn't matter. If we go 2.5x pot, we need like 71% folds to break even, and literally checking is going to be break even there. It's going to be 0 EV. And I think we'll probably get 75-80% folds. So I think my line's plus EV. I don't know if my line's the best EV. Maybe just 2x pot or 1.8x pot is better. I don't know. I mean, there will be some sweet spot, but I don't know where it is exactly in that situation. Some players are just like always going to fold or always going to call you regardless of your sizing, and others are going to be like really sensitive to it. I just don't know. 7-6 3-bet sometimes, sometimes not. Against reg, I don't mind it. Against the recreational, I generally don't 3-bet that part of range out of position because it's just better to like mine and keep the SPR bigger. Generally, unless they're like you're deep enough and they're like a fit or foldy type of recreational, it's just gonna like call and then fold to flop. Then you can 3-bet whatever you want. But those sort of plays definitely work a lot better in position. Not to say you can never make them out of position. Ever since 2 week study break, results have been insanely good. Yeah, no, but that's because the sites, the poker sites, see that you've not been playing, and they're like, yeah, you wanna come back and play some more volume? Would you like to we'll make you win for a while. You'll win for the next 2 weeks, and you'll think it's the study. Yeah. How about you just come back and start playing again? Yes. That's what they do. That's what they do, guys. It's an algorithm. It's an algorithm. They want you to come back. They're making me win so that I come back. Yeah. That's what they're doing. You can 3-bet here, you can call here. Don't fold here. Is it plus EV to float or raise this spot with these two cards? I mean, probably like this is the one thing I can fold. If I had like 4-5, if I had like unblockers 12 like the 10-9 off that they're bet folding and stuff like that, I know Jack 8 doesn't block 10-9, but you get the point. It blocks hands like that. And if I have 4-5, like I can turn stuff that's liver. I can make straights that don't make full houses for villain. I can just unblock the bet fold range. Did I say that already? Yeah, so if I have 4-5, I'll just raise or call there. But Jack 8 specifically, like, okay, you can fold. It's fine. I kind of resent doing it, though, because I know they're just, like, opening too wide for 2.5 most likely and then c-betting flop with everything. But yeah, there's probably a limit. There's probably some sort of hand we can't do anything with. I'm going to still open this. This guy's 21 big blinds, but they're not playing particularly insanely. Just looking out for spots where like gigantic sizes are going to just be really good against capped ranges is a good way to crush 100 NL. Because when recreational players have capped ranges, they're pretty unlikely. You're pretty likely to get a lot more fold equity as you ramp up the sizing. Because they're more likely to just think about what their hand is worth. Jack 9, I could go either way, honestly. Jack 9 offsuit is, I think it's like very borderline. Whereas if a reg has a capped range and you'd go giant and they understand, like they're a decent reg and they understand that like even though their range is capped, they have certain bluff catchers that are better to call than others or that you might be over bluffing, they might call you all the time. If they think you're overdoing it, or they might fold all the time, depending on what they think. But a recreational is more likely just to be like, I have queens. There's 3 to a flush, and there's 2 aces, and my opponent bet 2.4x pot. Or my opponent bet huge. Rather than like, oh, I have a bluff catcher. How good a catcher is this? What are its blocker properties? Do I think this spot's overbluffed? So the reg thought process there is far better than the recreational thought process, of course. Gonna start by checking lots of stuff on this node. Against 2.8, I'm just going to check call. I expect this to be an egregious overinvestment. I don't think on this texture there are enough runouts where my hand is strong enough to balloon a pot. And I think check call on river's probably good. Or maybe like tiny bet call. Yeah, I think 10th pot here. And then maybe call raise. But there's plenty we can get called by that's worse than this hand here. That's a shame. We cost ourselves 1.4 big blinds. But yeah, villain has 10s, 9s, 4x, 8x, jacks, like all this stupid stuff in their range as well. So with a queen there, you know, you have the choice between check and b10. That's basically what it boils down to. And what it boils down to is that nobody's got it figured out just yet. I got one hand in my pocket, the other one smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Okay, glad we got that sorted. Yeah, Pat Leaf is right about that. Getting value when you get lucky. I mean, you have to get lucky to win in poker sometimes. It's not even getting lucky because everyone flops sets and straights and flushes. You can say villain got lucky, he made a set. But like everyone has a certain allotment of sets. Like you're only lucky if you like lifetime make more sets than other people. When it's your time to be lucky, yeah, you got to maximize it, right? You got to play well. You got to know what spots could turn into gold mines and how to maximize them when they do. That's basically what you've got to know in this game. I should have thought about leading here. I can play some lead on this texture. This hand, maybe, maybe not. On the king, we'll be playing Gigantor and check. And zero equity is going to have to check now. Out position in this node. GTO 101. Bob Duran is first on Twitch. He says first with a U. And then he says blockers aren't real. I am never bluffing the spot against a Brazilian, especially with a jack in my hand, but I wouldn't bluff it anyway. And the reason is that they won't believe me. They're going to call me with ace 10, guys. Because my range is everything in the big blind. And if I just bluff random combos there, whatever sizing I pick, I'm over bluffing by like a giant magnitude. If I thought the fold equity was an unknown quantity, I would like find the right combos to roll some bluff into for various sizes that match my value range and blah, blah, blah. But in all honesty, I think it's just a really underfolded spot against a reg. I think a reg that reaches that node at 100 NL is usually on the level of people are going to overbluff, I call them. Now, don't get me wrong. Fold equity on the check node is really good in general, but on really dry boards like that against early position regulars, it's not. I can't prove the poker site's making you win when you come back, but Stars has always seemed to give me better cards after hiatus or moving up in stakes. Yeah, I have known people that just get crushed when they shot take those, so I don't know about the moving up in stakes part. And of course, like humans are very good at like seeing patterns where there aren't patterns because we're seeking them all the time. So to be clear, I was joking about that. Like it's possible, don't get me wrong. Is it the case that no site has ever programmed that into their algorithm? I don't know, maybe not. But I'd imagine that most of them aren't doing that, unless it's some giant conspiracy. You'd think we'd know about it if there was a giant. That's always been my take on conspiracy theories. Like, surely it would have got out, right? I don't really think there are many good conspiracy theories. I think it's generally just people with overactive imaginations. People want conspiracy theories to be true because they want to be like whistleblowers. Like, they love the idea of being like vigilantes that can find scammers and expose them and hunt them down, right? People love that shit, love finding scammers. Jungle Man's on a crusade to find poker scammers at the moment on X. I mean, that's fair though, there's lots of scumbags in this industry. There are people that like do that. In poker, there are a bunch of scammers actually. They're generally in the live poker space and they're generally gambling addicts that are asking for loans. Would be my take. Really don't want to fold Queen 7 to this guy, but he has no money and he's very likely to just start bombing flops, and I'm going to miss most flops. So I think I have to fold. But it's close. It's very close. I think the realizability would be pretty bad. I guess kind of why I'm folding pre there, but I don't know. That could be a call actually. Probably opening too wide. It's close. So good poker is about judgment, guys. It's about like being in a spot applying what you know in theory, applying what you know about populations, player types, etc., and then using your judgment to come to a final verdict on the situation. That's the biggest skill in poker, is like honing that sense of judgment. And the biggest mistakes I see people make on a regular basis come from a lack of judgment, a lack of experience, not being able to put it all together in a short space of time, basically. So it's a skill that you just have to keep working at. My son slept from 7 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. I was like waking up, like, is he alive? Like, what is this? This is unthinkable. I'm like, is he okay, babe? Is he okay? Like, shut up. Go back to bed. Go back to sleep. That's what babies are supposed to do. I'm like, yeah, but our baby doesn't do that. She's like, no, they do eventually. They go, they do. They sleep for like 12 hours. I'm like, seriously? Okay, it's just that like he's not even like done anything on the monitor. She's like, he's fine. Like, go and check on him if you're that worried. I'm like, I can't really be bothered. You ever get that? Those of you that have had kids, that irrational fear that they're just gonna die suddenly. Like when he was a newborn, it was really bad. I had these like waking dreams. I'd like wedged him down the side of the bed, even though we didn't sleep with our newborn baby in bed with us, and we don't now either. But you know, just this weird hallucination, half nightmare that he's like trapped between the bed and the wall or something, waking up and grabbing at the pillows. Okay, I was really sleep deprived in the first couple of weeks, and my sleep schedule was all over the place, as you can imagine. But they were horrible recurring dreams, man. I don't know if there's any dads or mums in the chat that have been through that, but your brain goes into this weird existential dread, like panic type mode when you sleep, or at least mine did. This is super borderline. You can't bluff Brazil there, I agree. I think you can do a little bit of stuff here. A6 on King Jack 7 is pretty bad though. All of our backdoors are pretty bad apart from the clubs. The overcard is not so good because it makes like a bunch of straights get there. Queen 10 is 16 combos. So you're just not drawing to as good an over on King Jack X with the ace as you are on like some lower tamer boards. So I think you probably just want to fold there a bunch to B33. The rule is like the more bland the board, the better it is to float with like ace-x backdoor draw hands. And indeed, there are many spots you just have to call those hands. Like if you're in the big blind with ace-8 suited and the board is 7-3-3, like you're not folding to a c-bet, right? But on King Jack X against cutoff, it's not so great. Surely it would have got out as such a basic take. Yeah, it is, but sometimes basic takes are right, right? If you're like, where's cheese from? It's like, that's from dairy, it's from cows. That's a basic take, right? But it's also just right. It's also just correct. Playing B200 check here, checking this hand back on an 84 because high numbers are more passive. Gonna play call or fold on turn only. Not really gonna be playing raise here unless it's exploitative with the nuts or something like that. Oh, okay. So we lose to Queen 9. We beat a bunch of lower straights as well. It's good to remember that 5-6 gets there. It's an extra value hand. It is 4 straight though, so it's going to be really hard to get too much value, so I'm not going to go for a giant raise here. Most of my raising range is going to go this size unless I literally have Queen 9, in which case I'm going to go absolutely enormous. I expect a lot of bet calls from worse hands than a 9 here, by the way. It's the way these people play. They're going to like, their main weakness is that they can't tell the difference very well between absolute and relative hand strength. So when they have a set, they're just like, set. Sometimes basic takes are the right takes, right? Occam's razor, don't overcomplicate shit. Like, what's wrong with that take? I mean, it takes a conspiracy theorist to say there's something wrong with that take because you have to be somewhat paranoid to think that massive deals don't get out. Like, okay, maybe on like top secret government level it wouldn't and stuff like that. But like something like every poker site always having an algorithm that rewards people for coming back to the game, that's surely something that would have got out. Right? Obviously it's subjective what things would have got out and what once wouldn't. And there's an element of like, you know, that's sensitive to like what we're talking about. But yeah. Yeah. Going to 4-bet this combo this time. The thing about 4-betting this combo is that you get a lot of useful fold equity, because when villain folds like ace jack off, it's like, cool, that was like flipping with me, right? I've had that with my dog, so I'd imagine it'd be worse with a kid. Yeah, it's 100% worse with a kid. What's up, happy feelings in Twitch? First time Twitch chatter. How's it going? We're also on YouTube, by the way. YouTube people are also on Twitch. Not that this is useful to you. If you want to double view and get our numbers up, though, yeah, no harm in it, right? King 5, just outside our opening range. First kid constantly, second kid, you're like, don't care. Fair enough. I'm hoping it won't be like that with kid number 2. But yeah, that was awful. Like, I still got it last night because he's just never slept for that long before. I was just like, he has to be dead. There's no other explanation. This is just a slight custom size with a spot. Okay, so you don't have anything. That's good to know. If I go 9, you will have about pot left. So why don't I make it a bit more expensive for you, given you have a bunch of pair plus draws. Try and get you to put everything in on the river. We're not folding. He's just got there some of the time, but he's also just got king, queen, 10-7, 10-8. Stuff like this. 9-8. Mate, you can just pick your hand. That's called cornered animal syndrome. So it doesn't actually matter what he has there. The level of stress and pressure is building within his body. He's just like, I'm kind of assuming he's male. He might not be, might be a girl. Who knows? But that person doesn't know really how to play poker. And they're just getting more and more stressed and more like down the gambler's mindset kind of fall. Whereas I put more money in the middle, they just become less inclined to fold later. So we size up on turn because there are so many hands with equity that just can't possibly fathom folding now. 5, please, dealer. 1 time. I'm mining against a pink tag here, by the way. It's indifferent against a decent player. This is one of my raises, but I'm not doing it for obvious reasons. So like, as they get more and more stressed and more like, oh no, loads of my money's in, it doesn't really matter what they have. It's just a fight or flight. Like, it's a fight instinct. I'll just put the rest in, and then I'll leave if I lose, and I'll just see why. It's not really strategic at all. So one of the biggest mistakes that my well-intentioned, I'm going to use this politely, nerdy poker students who are new to the game, GTO era, GTO wizard studying, full scholarship carrot poker, subscribing, can't get enough of that strategic shit students. Sometimes when they're new to the game, they're in like the first couple of years and they're trying to wrap their heads around who these people are, these recreational players on the other side of a screen somewhere. Like, what are they? They've never been to a card room. They've not seen the guy going, Will, you either got it or you don't. They've not seen that. They've not seen the drunk guy starting a fight. They've not seen the guy stand up and go, your mother, at the poker table. They've not seen any of it. Yes, that last thing actually happened. Yes, it was in the... Where was it? I want to say it was in the Venetian. Yeah, it was in the Venetian a long time ago. 2011, when I was in the Venetian, it happened. Saw it. And they don't know who these recreational players are, right? And they can't picture how they think about the game. They just don't have the exposure to it. They don't have the experience. So instead of seeing them as like these pressure cookers that are just like gambling and about to erupt, which is what they are, they're like, and so villain's polarized here, and he's going to, by the way, you can call our raise here, he's only value betting stuff that beats us and our blockers, and it's like, stop. The SPR is 0.5, the guy's angry, just don't fold. And they're like, yes, but the blockers, but no. Don't fold. Don't fold. This will be too much ace, king, ace, queen, etc. Sometimes it's a trap, and we'll just get raised and we'll be done with it. And sometimes we bet and they call, and then like we backdoor something or hit a 5 or whatever. And there's just a lot of denial here, and our hand's better than it should be against check. Now I'm going to check and soul read river. I'm going to give him no time to calibrate. I'm going to soul read like Helmut style like this. Now we're just dead. We just lose, right? If they check, I'm still going to check because most of the range is still an ace. Even if they check. Because, like, what else did they check calling flop with him playing this way? This guy has, like, I think he just has the nuts. Like ace 10, a trap, queen jack. I don't know. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna pay 12 big blinds to show you guys, but yeah, we're in bad shape. Afternoon Pete, just be thankful for the times he sleeps. Makes up for the majority of the time they don't. Like real life BBJ special. Yeah. I know. It's been good overall. He's such a good lad that way. He's a good sleeper at night generally. He's a good boy. He's the best baby. Every dad feels, right? The human mind sees patterns where there are none. Absolutely. That's how we survive in the state of nature. We find patterns in the, what's the word? We make patterns in the, what's it called when everything's out of order and crazy and chaotic? Why have I forgotten the name of that? What am I going to do with this king queen? God, so many things to think about. I just have to see the flop. It's just got to be in it to win it, guys, right? I don't think it can be squeeze. They're just going to underfold. They're going to jam. It just isn't right to squeeze. This, like, defaulting to the aggro option because it's sexier. This is, like, a huge problem regs have at these stakes as well. Where, like, they can't figure out the spots where it's actually good to be passive. Because there are a bunch of them. Entropy. That's what it is. We're trying to carve out patterns to disrupt the entropy. That's what I wanted to say. Sounds like a Petersonian thing to say. Well, you know, you have this rising tide of entropy, huh? Yeah, how about that? And, yeah. Usually hang on YouTube says happy feelings, but I thought I'd spice it up today. I like it. How are you doing yourself, Pete? I'm very well, thank you. Just a bit tired. Had a shot of coffee, no bagel though. Had 2 trout fillets, cabbage, garlic, spinach, green beans, and rice for lunch. The lunch of a champion. The lunch of an alpha. Well, you guys out there having Burger King for lunch, wondering why you're so angry, huh? Be the Whopper. Might be the Whopper. I went to the casino less than 10 times and saw all of those things. You saw the your mother thing as well, huh? It's that common. This Monsanto. I believe it, actually. Okay, let's be 75. I like it. Custom sizing, guys. Making up. Free-flowing poker. Lucid, relaxed, free-flowing. Anti-fish strategy. There's a lot of things you can do there. Just don't check the flop with 8s, even if it's allowed. Sometimes in GTO it's not good, really, with that hand against recreational. The thing about the recreational is they're not making it bad for you to thin value bet at full frequency because they're never like applying tons of pressure by check raising and bombing. They're just playing passively for the most part, so bet your vulnerable good hands. Always. With your stable medium hands, it's okay to check. Aces. That's close. I will see a flop of 2 snowmen, please. Or 3 snowmen. Then we can stack a fish that's like, I have a full house. Bro. Pete Clark trivia time. Do I like it when people say bro? Vote A for yes, B for no in the chat. Get your votes in now, Twitch. Get your votes in now, YouTube. Is there a way we get to win here? I feel like we just have the best. I feel like we have the best hand a lot. Yeah, we actually have showdown here. I think I can show this down and win. I don't think I need to bluff. Oh, this guy's going for it. Snap pot. This is such a good play in this spot that I almost want to hero King 8, but he has the pink tag, so I just can't do it. And he'll be bluffing King Queen or some shit sometimes, though he probably raises that pre. Honestly, it's such a great bluff. It's going to get through way more than half the time. I just don't know if the pink tag's done. Is this even a pink tag? How many tables is this gentleman playing? Is this really a pink tag? No, he's multi-tabling. What the hell is that tag, Pete? What are you doing with that tag? The guy was bluffing that last hand. I should have called King 8. It was such an easy call. The guy mistagged. It was such an easy call. King 8 was winning, for sure. For sure, King 8 was the best hand. We just ran into aces. This is very sad. Look at the size of this cold 4. Relatively large, right? I don't even think we can mine the 9s. I mean, we are a bit deeper, but I don't think we have any ability to survive here. I'm not even going to look. Nah. Irish people don't like the English, says Pat Leaf. Okay. Scots don't like the English, so how do Scots feel about the Irish, though? Well, I'm half English, and I have a lot of English friends that I like very much. I don't really like the English football team, though, so I'll agree with you on that one, because they're really annoying, because they're like, yeah, it's coming home, mate, innit? Yeah, 66, yeah? And you're like, okay, so you won the World Cup once. Like, do you really feel that badly about yourselves that you have to cling on to this? Like, this is why Scottish people have a problem with the English. It's all about the way the commentators are, and it's all Lineker's fault, basically, although Lineker's actually one of the good ones. That's harsh. He's just the first one that came to mind. What do I want to do against this? I want to bet one big blind or check. What do I prefer? I think I'll bet one big blind and then I'll start checking. There's loads of ways you can go here. They involve betting small and not folding, or they involve checking and not folding. I'm going to just check call. I'm going to bet call down after I bet one big blind. I'm not folding turn and I'm not folding river. And if he has a queen, he'll probably check back a bunch of rivers anyway and just not get value. I'm calling this river too. Okay, maybe not to that. Maybe not to that. It's a shame. Oh, wow. Sicko. Is that reg? Thought it was recreational with this flop sizing. I did wonder, like, what recreational jams this spot. He's figured out that the giant sizing can reap 100% folds in these kind of spots. I did just make a bunch of 2-pair, though. So that's pretty kamikaze. I did make a lot of 2-pair on that card. But fair play, man. You can't fault the heart. The thing about being so famous, they come for you all the time like that. You know, you guys don't have to worry about that. But I do. Play very big around a king and check, basically, is the idea here. Enough to make an ace indifferent. Okay, so they're just never going to bluff the spot. They probably can't beat ace-4 very often. 10's just got there. They have jacks, queens. Just b33. That folds, so. You guys think B? You don't care whether I like bro? That's a fair take. But it's more effort to write we don't care, bro, than just to guess A or B. So you obviously want me to know that you don't care, which makes me think that you care. Makes me think that you care. Limp? What do you mean limp? I didn't limp. What are you talking about? CNC thematic. What are we talking about? What do my tags mean? They mean the wrong thing, evidently. They mean completely the wrong thing. Yeah, I know. I pink tagged him accidentally. People are like, that spot, I'm just clearly winning with king 8 in that spot, by the way. I'm going to stop folding to these lines because, like, if I didn't have him mistagged, I'm just calling that river and it's going to be such ownage because he just doesn't have any value. He just has all the 4-5 off in his landing range and we were just winning. Yeah, we were just winning. A more interesting question. I'm not going to respond to that. G something something. There's certain comments that reading them out on your live streams is probably not a good idea. Probably best not to get into it. Love your Jordan Peterson. Thank you, Sunil. I've been working on it for many years. I do a Jordan Peterson to my son. He has this frog toy, and It reminds me of Kermit the Frog, and Peterson also reminds me of Kermit the Frog, and so I do the impression with the frog toy. Cool story, bro. Should we two table for a bit? I don't know if we should two table. I feel like I can't actually handle it today. Damn it. God damn it. Right, start playing some A game, guys. I mean, I think we're playing like B game at the moment, just normal game. Now we're playing A game though, because we have aces. I always feel like I'm playing better when I have aces. Kind of hard to make mistakes with aces. Famous last words. That sucks. You notice these things more when you're one tabling, right? Look at this guy, smoking and 44 VPIP. This guy's got a life expectancy of like 28. What is possible win rate at 10-20 blinds at GG Poker? Do you mean 10-20? Do you mean 2k NL? Or do you mean like 25 NL? I guess you mean 2k NL. I have no idea. It's mostly going to be from breakback, I would think, at that point. I would think so. Right, let's raise this at a decent clip. Decent clip. That will do. Going for like the half pot raise here. Raising some Queen X, raising wide. Being a pain. Some 6x gets in there. Some Deuce X gets in there. All sorts of stuff like that. Is that a straight flush? Or is the 5 of clubs missing? I think we have to check. How good a job are they going to do of bluffing the spot? There's 16 VPIP. Probably not very. And their bolts just got there and any big club. This is really annoying, but they really do have to bluff with like 6-7 or Queen 10 or something. I just don't think it's happening. You can go bigger on turn. If your opponent's recreational, I probably would go a bit bigger on turn. But the idea in turn is like you're betting a fairly merged range there, like your sets, your bad flushes. Villains made some flushes. Yeah, you just don't have the same like hyper polarized range that you had when you raised flop. Like if it's a brick turn, you're gonna go more ballistic at a lower frequency, and on a turn like that, you're gonna bet a bit smaller at a higher frequency. You left GG after learning about their huge bot problem, right? Okay, yeah. I mean, I have seen a lot of players taking like MDA type lines, and those are the most dangerous bots, right? Like if you're unsuspecting, you don't know how to counter them, you don't know who the people are that are taking those lines. It's that hyper aggressive. Like there was a period on GG where whenever I blocked the river, they would just raise every single time. Like not every villain, but if I ran into one of those potentially bots, potentially MDA people, I don't know what they were, but like yeah, they were like just raising rivers all the time. Sam on stream, Sam on stream, Sam on stream. Why no adverts on your stream, mate? Wouldn't do that to you guys. They want you, Sam. We have a delay though. It's not really the right conditions for Sam, is it, guys? Not really the right conditions for Sam. So we are running the promo 20% off at Carrot Corner with code CRUSH20 at the moment. And grab any of our courses or all of them with the golden carrot for 20% off. FYI, don't forget to use that code if you visit our poker training site this week. Next week, the code will be running for as long as this series is going, which will be a while. Right, let's see if we can win a stack, guys. I don't think this is the right tag. Quite honestly, I think everybody is randomly mistagged. Maybe they were doing a one table chilled Crush 100 NL stream, and that's why they have that tag. I don't know. Anyway, queen higher or lower, we're mostly going to be queen higher higher. We're mostly going for this. Min raise, huh? We could 3-bet here as well. I think raise fold is good now. A lot more higher equity stuff now in the bluff department. Pair plus draws, things like that. It should really just raise flop, probably. I thought that was a reg like coming after me on stream though, but to give a bit of room. Because I don't trust any of these. Yeah, it's like a 4-tabler, right? Tags are just wrong. Have you considered, do you play on other sites with softer pools? No. I'm not playing poker to make money. I'm just doing it to bring content. So I don't have to think too hard about where I play. I just play wherever I can jump in a game and make content for you guys. That's all it's about. And I want to see how we can do in these games over a decent sample too. Because there's a lot of chat about how high rake on GG makes things unbeatable. And I just want to like figure out what I can do, and then that's a good metric for what students can do and whether I recommend they ever try these games. I'm not saying there aren't better games, there obviously are. Accrual Games trying to tell me with the bro chat. Do national flags make you play differently from time to time, e.g. Brazil? Yeah, of course. I mean, the whole Brazil phenomenon is like basically the poker meme of 2024 and 2025, right? Aces again. We've had aces like 10 times and no action, guys. It's rigged. Let's go reg. Some check. Some B200. This is going to handle slow play on turn a bit more often. They want to always slow play this on turn, actually. Yes, because I actually want villain to hit stuff. I just studied the spot earlier. This is the exact spot I studied. And lots of your kings raises here. And the more connected this texture is, the less you actually raise overpairs. And aces is the overpair that raises the least. It's going to be overbluffed anyway on this run out. But yeah, we run into it this time. Should have bet the flop and made him fold. Only people don't fold bottom pair on the flop, guys. Very good result, actually, if we're going to run into 2-pair. Pretty good result. For the times we run into 2-pair, it's a pretty good outcome. But yeah, facing B33, I spent about 5.5 hours today making a lecture about it, a really long lecture for the new course about facing B33 turn probes. Because in the new course, you check a lot on the flop, right? Because you're playing 200 on a lot of boards, B200, 2x pot sizing. So you end up checking back a lot, and that means you face a lot of probes, and a lot of people use B33. I'm surprised that that reg used it with 2-pair. I mean, good for them. A lot of people are underprotected there, which is why you could argue for raising. But with aces specifically, you kind of want them to get there. You're less vulnerable. If they are overdoing it with 2 overs, you don't actually want to raise against 2 overs when you have aces. You want to raise against 2 overs with top pair, good kicker, right? So with aces, you actually have a really nice slow playing hand. And against a recreational, maybe you just always bet the flop or you always raise the turn. But against a reg, you don't actually raise the turn there very much. I'm going to be 50 here. For information. For information, guys. Check out my new course on Carrot Corner, by the way. Betting for information. Check it out. That's not a thing. I'm kidding. I'm betting for value. And denial. And making money. And EVs. I'll get some information as a byproduct. What about new course? Mostly Maltesers? Yeah, basically it's just a bag of Revels. You're right. Why are Revels rigged? Why are they all Maltesers? If I wanted all my Revels to be Maltesers, I would have just bought Maltesers, Nestle. Okay? I obviously want coffee and orange. Why don't they make Revels? If you don't know what Revels are, guys, you've not lived. Why don't they make Revels that are all coffee and orange? You know how much I would pay for a giant bag of Revels that was only coffee and orange? And maybe raisin. Like, I'm going to rank the Revels right now, guys. They are an assorted chocolate confectionery in the UK, by the way, made by Nestle. They have a brown and orange packet. And yellow, actually. Coffee is the best Revel. Orange is a very close second, and raisin is third. After that, it gets tough. No, actually, chocolate button is maybe joint third with raisin. Now on to the bad Revels. Coffee and Malteser. Malteser is clearly the worst Revel because you don't buy Revels for Maltesers because you could have just bought Maltesers. So Maltesers are clearly the worst ones. My wife's like, oh, can I get your Maltesers? I'm like, gladly. You can have all the Maltesers because, like, why would I buy Revels? Something wrong with her. Like, sometimes she even buys Revels and spends her whole time just avoiding the coffee and orange. Like, not just avoiding them, but like actively scared of them. It's like they're the best Revels. I guess we're a match made in heaven when it comes to Revels. At least we have something. Muted on YouTube. Oh, for God's sake. Great. That's exactly what we needed to happen. YouTube have muted us for some reason. What have I done, guys? What have I said? Hopefully it's your fault and not mine. Let's see if I agree. I don't think I'm muted. Are you making stuff up? A cruel game? I don't think I'm muted on YouTube. Don't do that to me. It's the ultimate tilt. Oh, I would definitely coach bridge. I do coach bridge. I teach bridge too. I'm part of the coaching, the Scottish under-21 coaching people. I do that as well. I'm not like an expert in bridge, but I'm advanced enough now to be able to teach people in Scotland. I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm getting coached and I coach. So I'm kind of like sandwiched between people better than me and people worse than me, which is a great place to be because you get to help out and you get to learn. So I do that. I've taught bridge classes. I work with juniors. I mentor junior players and stuff. Yeah, I do a lot of that. That's a passion of mine. That's what I'd like to do ultimately one day. Early retirement, you know, hang up the poker coaching boots, the course creation boots, let Carrot Corner Store do its thing, churn out the odd bit of content, but not much, and really focus on bridge. That's my dream for the later part of my life, for sure. I don't want to be in poker when I'm 53, you know? I don't want to be sitting here at 53 making another course, making another video, you know, doing a stream. I don't want to be, guys. I want to be going all in with this new course. I want to be giving my all to this game and the business for the next 5 years, maybe 5 to 10 years. And then after that, yeah, bridge is where it's at, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I'll take up golf again one day, but I'll probably just be too old by the time I can do that. I'm already shit at it. As a middle-aged guy, getting on that way, I'm already shit at it. So what I'd be like at golf when I'm like 58, God knows. We're very card dead, right? We're just hanging out here. We're gonna do some 2-table and 4-table sessions later in the week. Gonna do some 4-table grind sessions. Would you guys like that? Yeah, I think we should do that for sure. I don't think this is too high up against this position. I think it shows down very, very badly, but has the heart blocker and that improves quality of outs a little bit. We have the king and the jack, or quality pair draw outs. The spot's relatively folded. It's going to be an okay turn probe. Remember that, the bean streams with Easty, Noodaloo? Yeah, I know. Talking to someone on Twitch chat here, guys, if you're wondering. But yeah, Bean with his RNG. The thing is, it's not really random because You know what's in the bag by the end of it, right? You know how many coffees are left. Although there are a hell of a lot of coffees in a bag of Revels, thankfully. Coffee is the worst Revel, says Spuds Gaming. You think for half a second it's orange, then you realize you've been deceived. See, for me, as long as it has that soft, non-Malteser texture, I'm just happy, man. Because I know it's coffee or orange, and I just love both of them. It's like the best of both worlds. I'm truly blessed when it comes to my taste in Revels. It was you, apologies. Right, I'm banning you. You made me think YouTube had banned me. I'm very paranoid about YouTube doing stuff to the streams and videos because of the random age restriction stuff they've been doing. By the way, guys, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Random videos sometimes get age restricted and then they don't get shown to you by the algorithm like at all. And that's not very good. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Just figured it out. Let me guess, it was the mute button. Was it the mute button, bro? Always gets you that mute button. It's a tricky one. It's a tricksy one, isn't it? Playing bridge tonight, actually. And tomorrow. My wife's going to kill me because it's one of the Tuesdays I go and play bridge. But I'm playing with my serious partner. Basically the best partner I play with. One that I'm trying to like compete a bit with on a bit of a higher level. I'm playing with him tomorrow. Playing with one of my regular partners tonight as well. And playing with my wife next Tuesday. That'll be good. We hardly ever get to play together. We changed our bridge system. We're going to play an ultra weak no trump 10 to 13. It's going to be fun. You don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Basically, aggro opens. It's like opening 10-8 in the cutoff, but like somehow it's okay. Do you have a Lee chess account? I actually do, yeah. I don't play chess anymore. I hate chess. I don't hate chess. Like, I admire the game, but I hate trying to be good at chess. Like, I refuse to do it. I refuse to try and be good at it again. Reinforced suited, I don't even know if that's meant to be in those positions. Like, maybe it's not. But I don't really care either. It's fine. Can't be too bad, right? Your first live stream too, very fun. Morning East Coast is my usual grinding time. Only reason I haven't purchased coaching. If we sell our house on the market, well, I coach at this time. I coach at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. all the time. I work with loads of people in the East Coast, and they, oh, you normally work at that time, or you normally grind at that time. It wouldn't work for you. Okay. I mean, I'm being pretty selective with who I take on for coaching at the moment. But yeah, not that I'm too old for golf, Bob. Just I'm too old to ever be good at golf. I mean, obviously, I can just be that guy that hacks about the golf course at 65. Sure. But no, I do a lot of coaching at like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Or did when I was doing a lot of coaching. Yeah, we'll do a 4-table stream. How about Thursday then for 4-table stream? And we'll try and put in a bit of a shift. I don't think am I coaching on Thursday? I don't think I'm coaching on Thursday. I'm trying to cut down my coaching at the moment. Only work with the most inspired, passionate, serious people that I think I can really help. Trying not to work with people that I don't think are going to get anywhere because it's just yeah, it's just I just want to be like at my most useful when I'm coaching at the moment, basically, and feel like I'm really like making strong winning players. I'm not coaching on Thursday. So we could do like a big grind. Should we do a big grind with like a graph, like a session graph and stuff, guys? Would you guys be there for that? We'll like really try and play well. We'll like go do some exercise. We'll go like for cycle. We'll come back. We'll fire up like 4 tables and we'll just blast. Wish it was muted. Well, you can just close it. Like, you don't have to listen to me. Oh, because of the stuff about chocolates. You're not interested in that, Sima? Sorry about that. Can't please everyone, though. Hands up if you enjoyed the Revels chat. Can't please everyone. $575K? Okay. That works. We're so card dead. This is the problem with one tabling sometimes. Like, when you get, like, interesting spots when you one table, it's fun. But today we have had 0 interesting spots. Like, we're basically just hanging out today. Maybe I should talk more about turn probe since I spent like 5.5 hours building content about it, building a course about it this morning. So when you face a B33, what's happened is that on most textures, villains should have just picked the bigger sizing, because I'm just going to stop playing and rant about this for the last part of the stream, actually, because I really want to talk about it in detail and not get distracted. Sorry, today was a bit of a loss when it comes to getting into spots. We had like 0 interesting hands. We just got bluffed and shown a bluff, and then got bluffed and didn't get shown it that other time. That's kind of all we did. And we bluffed someone. We bluffed someone and got bluffed twice, and we made like 0 sets, 0 straights, and 0 trips. That's what we did. We made 1 flush, and then we had to fold. One of those sessions, guys. One of those sessions. Yeah, I'll talk about the turn probe thing properly in a second. I will fire up one of the sims from the course as well. Thank you for the Prime sub, Acryl Game, on Twitch. I appreciate it. I forgive you for making me think I was muted on YouTube, for making me think they had brought down the wrath upon this channel, for wondering how I was going to pay the bills. I forgive you. Right, we're done here. Wait, we can't sit out? It just won't let us? It's like, no, you have to keep playing. Right, we're done. We're done. Right, so what's my chess elo? So at one point, when I was waking up at 6 a.m. without a child, before I had a child, I was studying Russian tactics books every morning for like 2 hours on a real board. And I had an IM chess coach. And I would play a lot of chess and study a lot of chess. And I got up to, my peak was about 1900 splits on chess.com. I mix up my play in spots where I don't know that one line is clearly better than another, but I don't use it if I think that one line is better than another. So it's not like I'm just randomly rolling what to do. I'm just using it as a way to be a deal breaker when I'm indifferent and I want to play like a normal strategy, or I want to apply like one of the strategies from the course. Okay, so let's have a look at Wizard for a second here. Let me load something up for you guys and I'll show you some of the stuff I was building content on. I'm not going to show you the actual slides, but it's top secret, but I'll show you some of the stuff I was building content on earlier. So give me 1 second while I grab this. Chat amongst yourselves. Show you one of the sims. Okay, so feast your eyes on this. Just leave. I think we lost about $30 in the session. Fun times. Hard to make a joke on delay, I know. It is. It's gonna like take my anger out on you instead. So in this sim, we're on the flop, button versus big blind, as all good stories begin. And we have a range. And villain has a range, and our range is a bit better than his range, especially at the top, because we're the button and we have the nut advantage, and we use B200 check. Look, there's our B200 strategy in purple. As you can see, we're betting vulnerable over pairs close to pure, queens and jacks being like the bastions of the betting range. Betting ace7 on the flop, pure sets on the flop. We're checking a range of mostly big ace highs, under pairs, some broadways that have showdown, that sort of thing. Everything has a lot more showdown than you think on a board like 7-3 deuce, which is why like king 10, king jack, king queen are just checking a lot, right? And then your main bluffing range comes from queen high, jack high, that kind of thing. So knowing how to build this, and the main thing people miss here if you're playing a giant bet strategy on flop pure, is that you should be going for this with like king 5 and these what I call semi draws, not semi bluffs, right? Semi bluffs are a trash term because it means anything and everything. Like it's kind of high equity draws, basically, when people say semi-bluff. So this is a semi-draw. Like, it's almost a draw, it's almost trash, it's somewhere in between, but it's good enough to bet. Because in favorable landscapes where you're getting a lot of fold equity, these hands are good enough to bet, right? And betting them really often means that when you check, you haven't laden your checking range with like tons of junk, and you're not just like auto folding to 1/3. The reason that like at 25 and L, auto 1/3ing the turn as a probe works is that people check far too much of their king 5 when they're checking the flop because they don't know how to build a polar enough strategy. Whereas if you study this new course and you learn this B200 strategy, your checking range is mostly going to be good hands. There's some bad hands in there, but it's mostly good hands, and like King Queen of Spades is a good hand on this board, right? So you move towards the middle, you condense heavily when you check, and you get into the check node really, really often when you're playing the B200 strategy that we recommend in the new course, because you're not betting as often when you're using B200. This 37% bet frequency is actually quite high for a B200 bet frequency, because 7-3 deuce is a high betting volume spot, basically. So we go for a check, the turn is the 10 of diamonds, and then big blind leads small. And when they lead small in game theory, on this board, they can have quite a lot of stuff. They have quite a mergy range. They're interested in denying equity, protecting a bunch of thin value hands, and the 10 is not like so horrific that they can't bet a lot. So this is one way they can go, right? They can do a lot of betting. This being exactly 50-50 is just coincidence. And when they do that, we play a R100, like a pot-sized raise. And when you're building that raising range against the GTO betting strategy, you're using kings all the time on this sort of board, but you're not using aces as much. And that's like the hand that came up earlier where we default more to call with aces. The spot that came up earlier, though, is a wetter board where an overpair has less equity and is even less nutty and is less inclined to want to raise because the straights there already and stuff like that, and straight draws, and it's just lower equity. So I love when players talk about the strategy online, but when they sit at the table, they just play ABC. Yeah, that is a thing, right? Where like you know what the bluffs are in theory, but like you have a hard time executing. I will say today, in my defense, I just had air all the time, like out of position. I don't think I had too many spots to actually do good stuff. But you're right that there is a gap between like what people understand and what they can apply at the table. Coaching rate, you can check out carrotcorner.com/coaching. Have a look at the packages on there. All courses and coaching stuff is on carrotcorner.com. What's the number below your cam? Okay, I answered that, didn't I? It's the RNG. Revel's chat was peak. I thought so too. Okay, so when we face this B33 then, the main thing that people get wrong against this is that they fold too much, essentially. Is this even a B33? Is it a B40 or something? Yeah, we don't even have the right sizing here, guys. I need to change that in this slide of the course because we had slightly the wrong sizing. Let me actually put it in as B33. Okay, that's better. So now you'll see the fold frequency on this node. Let me put in B100 here. I don't want this giant raise size. So the old fold frequency is going to be around MDF, right? Like just 20% of the time, which means that we're going to be defending the vast majority. We actually underfold our range compared to MDF when we're in position. There are lots of reasons for that. But basically, imagine that you were folding MDF in position against small bet. Villain would be auto-profiting like a lot with any two cards, like a lot more than it would be better for them to bet than check with like trash. And we can't really have that. So it's normal for us to be a few percent below the MDF fold equity. In order to do that, we have to call a lot of hands that don't look like calls at first sight. So the thing that you guys are most likely to get wrong when you face turn probe, why is it highlighting Jack 10 and it won't like unhighlight it? Guys, help. I don't want you to just highlight random hands. Thank you. So the way to get your defense frequency right here is to understand that like when you have Queen Jack, you shouldn't actually fold on a bone dry texture. If this board is like 3 straight and low or 3 flush, you can obviously fold like random overcards. They're not very good. But the caliber of the outs, the pair draw of Queen Jack here is very high. And it actually does have some showdown value as well against hands that Villain will give up river with. Now, you might turn that into a bluff on river depending on the card, depending on how much showdown you preserve. But you can't just go checking back. Like, if you're playing the way we suggest in the course, which is not the only way to play, but it's a very cool cutting edge way to play, in my opinion, you're going to check back a lot. You're going to end up on the turn, and you need to know, based on how dry the board is, how many overcard combos you need to be calling, bluff raising, that sort of thing. So, like, if you fold king queen here, you make a mistake for like 15-17% of a big blind. Like, it's a really big deal. So you have to be very, very careful that you know what you're doing when you play a strategy like this. And that's why when you first start playing poker, just playing B33 or range 33 on the flop's an okay way to go, because you bypass nodes like this. But ultimately, you do want to get good at these nodes one day. And it's far harder for your opponents to deal with a strategy they haven't seen, like a B200 check strategy that you're playing well on turn, than it is for them to deal with B33, which I've just seen a ton these days. But yeah, you do have to know how to defend against these small probes. Also ask yourself, like, who small probes? As I was building a slide on this morning. Who uses a small probe size? Generally speaking, it's recreational players that are just betting randomly because you checked, or it's like aggressive regs that are trying to exploit pool, or it's just like nitty regs. And in all three cases, they will generally have a fairly mergy capped weak range, and data says fold equity is very, very good, and it is very, very good against B33. So I don't want to give away too much for free, because like this is going to be one of the 130 episodes of this course. Honestly, it's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. We can give away a little bit of 130th, but the idea is like you want to attack a lot more in this spot. So if you look at a hand that's indifferent to attacking, like Queen Jack of Diamonds, your default should actually be to attack with that hand if everything else is equal the way we're crafting a game plan. It's kind of interesting, right? So when you check back a lot and you're playing that B200, you actually end up being very aggressive and very sticky on the nodes where it goes check, check on flop. So you're not like waving the white flag a lot. It's not like, oh, I have to check flop 70% of the time. How boring. It's like you get to check flop 70% of the time, and then you go to this turn node, not with the absolute nuts, but with still like quite a strong range, and you can just brutalize people on that node when they don't know what they're doing. That's kind of where the magic of this is. We are releasing the course in early access. I don't know at what point yet, but it's going to be maybe when it's like 25 to 33% done. We talked about this on the Discord. It's going to be over a year before it's done. It's too many episodes. So we're going to start releasing it gradually like it's a video game. That's the idea. Okay, so on Thursday, we will do like a grind stream. I'll make sure I'm on my A game. We'll fire up a bunch of tables. We'll maybe set out, have a few breaks, but we'll like really focus when we're playing. And that'll be a load of fun. But yeah, there's a little bit of a flavor on what I was working on this morning about turn probe. Sorry, the session was so card dead. That's the gamble with one table. And yeah. Just reading chat. Why are you into coaching, says Shazwat Mishra. Why not give it all to playing poker, play high stakes? Good question. So lots of reasons. One, I have a family. I have I'm at a point in my life where I want to have a stable, lucrative life, and that's what Carrot Corner gives me. It gives me a very reliable, good source of income. It allows me to like invest for the future. I am never worried. I don't have any financial worries or anything, given how well it's been doing. Not trying to brag, but like just to explain why I don't play poker for a living or anything like that. If I didn't have a coaching company, I didn't have the skill set I have in the company I have or anything like that, and the courses, materials I have built, I maybe would be a poker player, but it would not be my first choice. It would be like a kind of like, okay, I guess I have to do this thing. Because in truth, I don't enjoy it. I enjoy poker. I love the game. I enjoy thinking about it, talking about it, playing a bit. I don't enjoy playing loads of poker. I never really have. There was a time I played more when I kind of had to do that, but I didn't really like it. The more I played, the less I liked it. And I think that's fairly typical for a lot of things in life. There's certain things that I don't feel that way about, like teaching. I don't feel that way about really. Bridge, I don't feel that way about, and streaming and making videos, I don't feel that much that way. Like I can kind of do those things somewhat endlessly, but playing poker, I actually don't love it as much as the teaching. So I can't do it as much without falling out of love with it. The second reason is that I don't know about this now, but going back 6, 7 years, um, going back 6, 7 years, my mental health wasn't the best. I had a lot of unresolved shit from early on in my life. Just basically had anxiety and I drank too much and I just didn't eat well. And I was just a bit of a wreck of a person, to be quite honest. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was. And trying to be a poker player when you're not physically and mentally in good condition is not good. So for the longest time, I just couldn't be a professional poker player because I didn't have a stable enough, I didn't have good enough mental health to do it. And now I don't really want to anyway, and I think that ship has sailed, and I don't think I'll ever be a professional poker player again. And I haven't been for some time. I don't think I ever will be again. But I didn't really have good enough mental health to know if I could handle it long term. But I did know that like it is quite a harrowing, unpleasant existence at times when it's not going well. It can be pretty scary and stressful, as you guys probably know. Sorry, I've got to sneeze. Hay fever is real. A real thing. It's not just one of those things that people make up. You know? Hay fever is real. Not like migraines. Migraines are made up. No one actually has migraines. I maintain that nobody has migraines. I've never had a migraine. I don't think it's a thing. But hay fever is a thing. Let us know what you think about that in the chat. You're selective about whom you ask to coach you a random life. That's good because I'm selective about who I coach. That said, I want students to have full trust in me when we go into coaching together. Because if not, then you should have vetted me heavily before you hire me, basically, right? I don't know who you are. I need to talk to you first. I need to know a bit about you, but you probably know quite a lot about me already. That's kind of the idea. So, thank you, LMD. Love you guys too. Let me talk a bit more about this though. Um, why not play high stakes? So, the other side of this coin is that to play high stakes or compete even seriously in like the mid stakes championships and at that level and stuff like that, you might wonder like, why does this guy play easy games? Like, why is he like grinding like 100 Russian cash? Why is he playing like games that you'd expect him to be able to beat comfortably? And one reason is that that's what you guys are trying to do. I want to show you what it's like to get past where you're at in your career. That's what I'm that's the MO of Carrot Corner, is to get you being successful at that sort of level. Carrot Corner is not the sort of site that's like, right, let's take on 10 high stakes ballers and make them even bigger high stakes ballers. Like, no, we're trying to get people like to beat 25, 50, 100, 200, that kind of thing, live 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 10, like work their way up. So for me to then compete at like 1 KNL, let's say, what would I need to do? I'd need to study a lot, but in a way where I was like, I had to like stop creating content. I had to neglect the company a bit. I had to like really focus hard on studying with other regs, like study partners, that kind of thing. And I'd have to dedicate loads of time for volume. I'd have to play at the right time of day. I'd have to game select. I'd have to deal with variants. I'd have to like really be on top physical shape all the time to put in volume in tough games. I'm just not at that place in my life where I want to do that. It wouldn't fit with my life at all. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, oh, imagine I'd done that. But it's not actually where what my skill set is best suited to. There's players that are incredible grinders that play their best when it's just them and their computer, and they're like almost like video gamers of poker players, you know? That's not me. I actually do better in social environments, when I'm teaching, when I'm thinking out loud, when I'm talking, when I'm making content. That's when I'm at my best. When it's just me and a screen for 8 hours, I'm not a very happy person in that environment. I don't know if anyone is, but I'm a particularly unhappy person when I'm just on my own with a screen. Would you say the moment you treat poker as a job, it changes the way you look at the game? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think when you're even on the road to doing that, it changes the way you look at the game. When you're flirting with the idea of building a bankroll and going pro, any setback feels like a personal career setback rather than just like losing at a game, which can be frustrating in and of itself, right? 2 tables seems a sweet spot for explaining, says McLovin. Yeah, probably is. When I'm tired, though, I just like to chill and do 1 table. Thank you for diving into the turn node. Can't wait for the new course. So the episode I made today has about 4 nodes like that. Like hand diagrams of every hand category laid out, what you do with it and why, what the data says, what the exploits are, what some of the ideas behind the theory are. It's like 13, 14 slides I built today. It was a lot, man. Up at 5:30, built 14 slides. That's why I'm just winding down now at this point in the day, right? Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about, I was talking about this with my wife the other day, and I was like, if I didn't do this, like, what would I do? Like, what would I do if I didn't have Carrot Corner? And I'm like, I don't know. Because my talents in life are teaching, building courses in an organized, clear way, articulating, and logic games. Those are my niches, my skill sets. And I've been lucky that I've been able to put them all together in Carrot Corner. It's like this company that embodies everything that I'm good at, all rolled into one, packaged into products that you guys can benefit from. And it's like, if I didn't do this, like if poker just ceased to exist or something, like what the hell would I do? I don't know if I have any other skills. Like I could teach something else, but I'd have to learn that thing to a good level first. I'm not that good at anything else. I have no idea what I would do. At one point, I thought about being an academic. I really, really don't know what I would do, guys. I was like, I make another company. It's fine. I've got business skills. And it's like, yeah, that being so, I still need a marketable product. It's not like physical. So if it's too physical, it's a ton of costs and work, and it's a nightmare. Like imagine having like a restaurant business in this day and age. Like what a nightmare. So I don't really know what I would do if it wasn't for this, which is kind of a scary thing, but also like how lucky am I to have found this niche and like wrapped everything together into this one area that I can do. So yeah, it's interesting. Your migraine denial is giving me a migraine. I've just never had one. I don't know what it feels. I mean, it must be awful, right? I guess it's awful. But no, I've never had a migraine. Hopefully I never will. That's good. I don't actually think that they don't exist. It's just like, you know, when you've never experienced something that people talk about all the time, it's just like alien to you, right? That's what migraines are. It's so hard to talk to you guys in this format with the delay. If I knew I was going to end up ranting for half an hour, I wouldn't have done a delay. But yeah, next time, I think we'll do more streams like this where we just chat. And we'll also do more streams where I just like focus on 4 tables and we'll like make the content a bit more like chalk and cheese that way. I think that'd be good. Well, guys, it's the end of the day. I'm going to head off. Got some dad duties to do, some house and animal duties to do, playing bridge tonight, dinner to make, all of that. Yeah. Okay, guys. I will catch you later. And don't forget to use code CRUSH20, one word, number 20, followed by the word crush, no spaces. If you're getting anything from Carrot Corner this week, that code is still live.